This one is an even better picture of it. Now, at first I thought it was Photoshop. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, well, they couldn't zoom in, or they don't want you to see what Africa really looks like, which I'm still not quite sure about. Maybe that is what it is, but it looks like this is actually what it looks like. So, what are these circles? What do they represent? Why are they here? Who made them? Then you see like this little community over here, this pocket of civilization. Then you see some like vegetation here and a little pocket of vegetation here and like two little huts and a pool. A pool. And I'm like, what is the pool doing there in the middle of nowhere? That's strange. You know? But I have no answers. Maybe you could tell me what this is because I was very shocked at this. And whatever it is, it looks like at one point it was green. Over the years, it turned this color, or maybe the seasons changed. But it's almost like a maroon or a purple and red. And I don't know, it just looks weird to me. I don't know what it is. This one is an even better picture of it. Now, at first I thought it was Photoshop. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, well, they couldn't zoom in, or they don't want you to see what Africa really looks like, which I'm still not quite sure about. Maybe that is what it is, but it looks like this is actually what it looks like. So, what are these circles? What do they represent? But we're gonna move forward here to Mars on Earth. Back where I was talking about before, the thought of us not leaving the planet and them lying to us about Mars. Excuse me, my goodness. Every time I make a video, sleep comes down. That's nothing but the devil. But yeah, every time we see Mars on Earth, we see this landscape of barren stuff and the red dirt or whatever. But what if they are doing exactly what I think they're doing? They're filming a spot right here on Earth that looks very similar to what they call Mars. Um, I literally Googled Mars on Earth, and this is what came up. There's a place called Devon Island. I've never heard of this place before now. Um, but they put the rover there. Why would you put the rover there? You know? And it's taking these videos and pictures of Devon Island, and it looks very, very similar to Mars. And I know what you're thinking. Well, every time I see Mars, it has the red dirt. But you know you could change that with Photoshop, right? You can make anybody look like anything. So why would you think that you can't change the color of dirt, the color of the sky, things of that nature, right? And I think that's exactly what they're doing. Because you can't possibly tell the general public that space is not real. We've lied to you all these years, right? We've never been to space. We've never been to the moon. And all your billions of hard earned dollars that you've been putting into this space, air quotations, space program is all up in the air, and we've just been spending it because we can. You can't tell the general public that. That would be chaos. And one thing that I noticed that the powers like is order. Whether it's their order or not, they like order. They like the general public subdued. They like them complacent. They like them to believe the narrative and not ruffle feathers. Because if you find too many people who are revolutionaries, then you got a full on riot on your hand, and that's not good for anyone, right? They would rather have sheep to obey them than for no one at all to obey them. So, in order to keep the lie going and keep their sheep in their place, they do anything. And this is not even a hard feat. This is very easy. Like I said, before they presented us with Photoshop, they've been doctoring pictures and video. They were doing that even in the black and white days. Why do you think there's so many pictures of people literally standing on top of tall buildings with 1 foot off the ledge, or things of that nature? Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some daredevil people who are extremely crafted at their gift, but you can't tell me that everyone back in the day was like a trapeze artist or something. You can't convince me of that. Just like you can't convince me that everyone back in the day was one of those top tier architectural geniuses that created these towns and these buildings that they say that they did when there was a horse and buggy population and they had freaking no supplies, no real money. People were struggling. So you can't convince me of that. Some things just don't make sense. And the more we start questioning things, I believe the closer we are to God, because it said in the Bible, and I'm paraphrasing here, you can't believe everything you see in here on this planet. You can't believe the knowledge of the world is actual knowledge and then try to roll with the Lord. That's not how it works. Because people have been lying about this planet and everything on it since the beginning of time. Everyone claims to be so smart, so articulate, and people who tend to delve more into science than actual scripture, I stay away from, you know, because these are the people who believe the lies, I hate to say. There are people who literally believe we evolved from monkeys. Is that not crazy to you? To think that our God will create a monkey and change it into a person when he can create anything he wanted to. Why would he do that? That's not in the Bible. That's not in the Quran, right? But people believe it. They believe in the Big Bang Theory, that everything just happened out of nowhere. How? How? When there are not two people on the same planet with the same fingerprints. You make that make sense to me. Nothing is by accident. Nothing just happens on this planet. Everything is eventual. God created everything for man, and it's got to be the biggest slap in the face to him that he went above and beyond to be a good father, and we're not even acknowledging that. That's crazy to me. But that's the world we live in. That's why you have to stay vigilant and have your own mind and your own beliefs. That's why I don't believe that we ever left this planet. And I don't believe we will until the Lord comes and takes us. That's my personal belief. But like I said, if you know something different, please tell me. I would love to learn. I'm not a closed minded person at all. In this picture here, right? We have these buildings here. We have the vegetation. We have another little bitty pool right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bitty pool right here in between the trees. I don't know what that is. Puzzling. In this picture here, right? We have these buildings here. We have the vegetation. We have another little bitty pool right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bitty pool right here in between the trees. I don't know what that is. Puzzling. In this picture here, right? We have these buildings here. We have the vegetation. We have another little bitty pool right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bitty pool right here in between the trees. I don't know what that is. Puzzling. In this picture here, right? We have these buildings here. We have the vegetation. We have another little bitty pool right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bitty pool right here in between the trees. I don't know what that is. Puzzling. In this picture here, right? We have these buildings here. We have the vegetation. We have another little bitty pool right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bitty pool right here in between the trees. I don't know what that is. Puzzling. In this picture here, right? We have these buildings here. We have the vegetation. We have another little bitty pool right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bitty pool right here in between the trees. I don't know what that is. What I found the most puzzling is this. What the heck is this in that water? Please tell me. What is this? Because I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it looks strange. I don't know if it's things in that water. I don't know how that sounds. I don't know if there's things in that water or I don't know what to think, y'all. I don't know what to think. But clearly something's there and that for this to be an aerial view, right? Now look at the size of this building here. Excuse me. Look at the size of this building here. And look at the size of whatever these are in the water. This is pretty big. Whatever they are, they're pretty big. They don't look like any animals that I've ever seen. They don't look like birds. I couldn't tell you honestly one way or another what they look like. They don't resemble anything that my human eyes have ever seen. So I was hoping that you could tell me. What I found the most puzzling is this. What the heck is this in that water? Please tell me. What is this? Because I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it looks strange. I don't know if it's things in that water. I don't know how that sounds. I don't know if there's things in that water or I don't know what to think, y'all. I don't know what to think. But clearly something's there and that for this to be an aerial view, right? Now look at the size of this building here. Hello, 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 and welcome back. I'm not going to do a long video today. I just want to touch on a few topics that's been bouncing around in my head. One of the things that I've always had a problem with was the general mainstream narrative that we've been to space and all these other things, and then they tell us in school about the Van Halen belts and other things. Um, the radiation belts that prevent us from leaving Earth's atmosphere and yada yada yada. Then in the same breath they say, well, we've been there and done that. But they don't tell us how and why it's not so frequent with space travel. And I believe there's only a certain amount. I don't know how many miles away from Earth we can get before we pretty much hit the firmament. They don't want you to know that, or they don't care to admit that because that would mean that the Bible is correct and God is real. We just can't have everyone believing the truth now, can we? Of course not. So, what they do is spin all these fairy tales about places they've never been, and they create all of these stages for them, making them look real, just like they do in movies and movie sets and other places here right on Earth, and they put it on TV and present it to us as factual information that they've left the planet. I just don't believe that. I believe they're so good, they're so cunning and so clever that even people who believe that they have left Earth's atmosphere might not even know the truth, and some of them may. They may have they may have been indoctrinated or told what was going on and they're part of the plan, but some people I believe genuinely do not know that they've never left Earth's atmosphere. In my younger days, we used to go to a space center when I was going to school in Detroit, and they had this simulation where you were sitting there and the way that it moved and rocked, and there was actual pictures all around you, and not just pictures. This is like some VR stuff before its time. It made you feel as if you were actually there, kind of like the Oculuses are when you're in a concert or other things. It makes you feel like you're actually there. That's why people tend to freak out in those TikToks and other things that you see when they're in the Oculus. It feels real because to the mind, seeing is believing. If you believe it, you can feel it. You'll actually think you were there. And I believe that they went so far as to make it be in school books, and we believe it because we've been taught that all our life. We never question the things that we've been taught. And that's where I have a problem now. Because I was one of the people who never questions anything. But as I get older, I can't help but to think some things just don't add up. If there's a firmament and you believe in God, then you know that you can't leave this earth. You can't leave this planet. You cannot go to outer space, air quotation marks. So, space program to me is a slap in the face of God and people who are believers. Now, if you're a believer and you believe in space, I just caution you to read your Bible and ask for the spirit of discernment as I did and try to understand a little better. That's pretty much where I'm gonna leave that right now because I don't have much time. Like I said, I'm just gonna make a little video. But one of the things that I've always seen as well, I'm gonna get back to Mars thing in a second, but how they always present Africa as this struggling nation with all this desert land, and it's just so terrible there and this and that. But I believe they know better. First of all, Africa is not the correct size on the globe that they present us with, any of the maps. It's way bigger. There's way more people than they tell us. So, and I don't believe that it's as barren as they're like this to believe. And the fact that they are in trouble, if any, is because of countries like ours who go over there and rape them of their natural resources and take from them what God has given them. This is a rich country, rich in every mineral pretty much known to man and those that we don't know of. There's some kind of metal, I forget the name, it escapes me, but it's kind of like vibranium. It has its own energy source. And they know that. That's why they're always over there in the Congo. And they always say that they're rescuing these kids and they're helping them. But that's not what they're doing, folks. I don't I don't believe that. But anyway, I digress. So I was on Google Earth. Um, Shelly from There's No Place Like Home, another YouTuber I told you I follow. I seen on there where she was talking about just, play around with Google Earth, see what you can see. I forget the actual topic she was on at the time, but it did spark my interest. And I said, you know what? I've never been on Google Earth. I'm going to see what's on there and see what I can see. So I looked at Africa. I didn't look anywhere else. I looked at Africa, I zoomed in, and I don't know if you could tell exactly where I'm at on here, but um, yeah, we are here, and I want to know what the heck are these circles? If you know, please tell me, because I don't know what these are. And I thought that was quite interesting because I'd never seen anything like it. These circles here, and some of them, as you can see, they are perfect circles, all of them. And they almost look like pie charts. Who made them? How long have they been there? Now, there are also other things like these little squares here, and people will say, well, they were made by man, and they sculpted out a spot where they can put, vegetation or um, housing. But these circles are very puzzling to me. There's nothing like this anywhere else, right? Around here that I see on this particular part of their map. I don't know what they are. I don't. Very peculiar.